Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Morning, TikTok. Morning, YouTube. I hope everybody has a beautiful Sunday. And today, actually, I wasn't going to continue this subject, but I decided that we should because I got some questions and I wanted to actually to talk about this a little more. So we're continuing our conversation on becoming a woman who is getting spoiled. And I will give you some examples from the movies that you probably were watching, and maybe it will become a little clearer. And I also will answer your questions. So I got some questions, and as you know, I post on TikTok every day a short video on the same subject. So I also get some feedback there. Now I want to tell you that I'm really happy that the whole overall um, world is healing. I'm happy that women in the majority do want to be spoiled, do want to be provided for, and I'm happy that men are the ones that are actually eager to provide, that ones that they do want to provide. So overall, it makes me happy because that's how it should be. Women should be feminine, should be receiving. The man should be giving, it should be masculine, and this is comfortable and normal for everybody. It's comfortable and enjoyable for men to give. It's comfortable and enjoyable for women to receive. This is how it is. It's the law of polarity. So I'm not sure what point we start fighting what is natural, but I'm happy that we're returning to this. So overall, I'm going to answer a few questions. Now, one theme, so I will also add a little bit to, so if you didn't watch the video last Sunday, do watch it. I mean, it's very informative, a lot of information, and I'm sure you will be able to get some useful information for yourself. Now, one common theme that I got from the questions that I received is that some women do not believe that they deserve to be spoiled. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because the way they were asking their questions, the way they were careful about wanting something or even hoping for that. And this is something you must understand that if you chose to be spoiled, this is where you need to be standing. You know, you could not be, well, is it wrong? Is it not wrong? When you go to work and you get paid, do you question, is it wrong that I'm getting paid or not? I mean, some people get paid less than me. I mean, is it fair? Should I split my kind of my money with them? You don't question things like this. So why should you question if you got a fancy bag or something or some jewelry for Christmas? I mean, it should not affect you. Now, like everybody, probably you had breakfast today, like I did. You didn't question whether you deserve that breakfast or not because it's norm. You know, you grew up like this, eating breakfast. Whether your family had a lot of money or not, everybody got at least the breakfast, right? So, but there are people in this world who maybe didn't have breakfast. Maybe then they don't have enough funds to provide breakfast for their family. So, but you're not questioning, right? You're not feeling guilty that you're eating breakfast when somebody else might not might not be able to afford breakfast. The same with everything else in life. You can't really save everybody, and if you will start thinking like this, your guilt will overconsume you, and then you will start getting punished outside because of that guilt inside. So again, it is just part of life, and you just need to learn to understand this and don't drown in your guilt. But this is what the common theme that I found through all the comments and through questions. It's like women do want to be spoiled, they do want to receive, but then they feel a little almost guilty. And remember, being spoiled and receiving is not only through men. I mean, we're associated with men because men are, you know, the brightest representation of masculinity. So they obviously, it's the easiest to get something from men. But it's actually overall with the world, overall with what you do, with your activity, through your career, through everything. You go to the hotel, you check in, and suddenly they upgrade you. This is what being spoiled is. It's not only getting presents from men; it's really from everything. Or you're traveling, you bought economy class, and they upgraded you to business class, like it happened to me a few times. Or something else. So you go to the store suddenly, and then they have I don't know, 50% off. Like I went to Italy the other day, and they have the sale 50% off on everything. Not sure why. I mean, but still, it's just this kind of lucky happenings in your life, and if you are used to this, it's like that lucky girl syndrome. I have a video on that. If you're used to that, you start getting it more and more. So in your life, it's becoming like a normal occurrence, but you need to be open to that. You see, when you come to the store and the store offers something that you want 50% off, you don't feel like, "Oh, but the store will not make enough profit. I mean, should I take it or should I pay the full price because the store might not?" No, you don't have these thoughts. You take it and you're happy. So why would you feel guilty for wanting something in your life? Like, you see, it's very contradicting, and I want you all to think about that. It's also happening in my life, so it's not like I'm not in the same boat. All right, so let me I'm going to mention a few more points that I didn't mention last time, and then I will tell you and then I will bring you examples of spoiled and not spoiled, and how naturally it's absolutely comfortable to be either one. Now, something that I didn't mention was a few things. So, a woman who is getting spoiled, not necessarily by a man, but overall by life, they do understand how the law of polarity works, how masculinity, femininity works, how and since men are, let's talk about men. Since men are the representation of that masculinity, they understand how the psychology of man works, how they feel when they are giving, or when they have the opportunity to give. So men, in the majority of the time, they do like to provide. Look, I'm not even masculine, and I do like to give. I give a present to somebody and I feel so great. It's like, I don't know, it's a good feeling. It shows that I do like to give, because often I'm in masculine energy. Now, when I'm in the feminine energy, I like to receive. So when you are encouraging, when you ask the man for something, when the man gives you something, it's not like you're using him, or you're taking his last. It's you giving him the opportunity to be that hero, that somebody who is actually feeling great for doing it for you, doing it for himself, really, not even for you. You were just the person at that moment, that was deserving of the receiving, kind of, so you gave him the opportunity to be a man he wants to be, even if it's something small. So women who receive, they understand that. Now, if you would be like, "Oh no, but how much did it cost? Oh my God, you spent all your savings," this is very humiliating. You see his weakness. You're showing him weakness. So when you start talking about money and, "No, but you didn't have to," "I don't understand. You hardly make any money and you spend it on me." Look what you're showing your man. You basically, you're telling him that he's weak, that he is not capable of giving you something like that. You're focusing on his weakness instead of his strengths. And no man wants it. No man wants pity. He wants somebody to feel pity, especially if it's a woman that he likes. I am a feminine woman. I don't like when people feel sorry for me. I only can imagine how a man feels. He feels defeated. He feels like there is no strength. A woman that he likes doesn't see his strengths. You see, so women who receive, they understand this. They understand, and they take, even if it's his last, even if he will have to work double just to provide it for her. He will feel good, and she will not feel any kind of guilt. And this is how you need to understand this with everybody, with clients. Sometimes I work with clients and I'm like, thankfully it doesn't happen often, but it used to be like, should I really charge this much, this and that. Again, I'm feeling sorry for my clients. That means I don't see strengths in them, and this is wrong, because I don't see strengths in them. How are they going to provide for themselves? So you must understand this. If you want to be spoiled, you need to start looking at everything differently. You need to change your perception and understand how it all works. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that women who are spoiled, they are often not desperate. I did briefly mention it last time, but and it's not necessarily that they have everything in life. It's they're not desperate inside. There are a lot of women who are wealthy, who provide for themselves, who buy everything for themselves, who take themselves on vacation, but they're still desperate just because they fill up those empty spots. doesn't make them less desperate. So they're desperate for what? For attention, for some kind of feelings, for emotions. They're desperate for male companionship. They're desperate for strong masculinity around them because they're so masculine themselves. So just because you don't need, you can buy yourself flowers, doesn't mean that you're not desperate. So women who are spoiled, they are not desperate in nothing in life. They have everything enough. They have enough of male company, they have enough of attention, they have enough of masculinity around them, they have enough femininity around them. They enjoy their company, they can take themselves anywhere, they can talk to anybody. So this is also important, because I get a couple questions like, oh, I'm giving myself everything, I'm just waiting for a man too. But it's not only about giving, it's not physical. Remember what I told you last time about spoiled means spoiled with everything: attention, time, um, uh, some kind of emotions, love even, so it's not only money. If you're focusing only on money, it's a short play game, yeah, you can get a present, but it will be like one off, you need to focus on a bigger picture. If you are spoiled, you're spoiled with everything. For example, if you are spoiled, you can afford to take a day off and don't do nothing. You can afford to even take a year off and just focus on yourself, read, recalibrate, work out, I'm not sure, do what. But this is what you spoiled with everything. So a woman who is spoiled, she's never desperate, never desperate for nothing, because desperation shows the lack of something. And if you're lacking something in one field, you are lacking it everywhere, basically, because you can't really lack here and not lack there. It's like it's all very connected. So a man, why do these women getting spoiled? Because they don't need nothing, and since they don't need nothing, they are getting spoiled. So this is very interesting to observe. And you will say, well, if a woman has everything, why would she need anything else? Well, because that's how it works. It's like money comes to money, to more money comes to money. It's the same with that. So people who are spoiled in life by everything, by attention, by time, who are not desperate, who are not lacking nothing, they are getting much more than those who are desperate and who need some kind of need. Now, how can you change? You will tell me, Sergio, how I can change this? I can't rewrite my whole life. Well, you can. I would argue that. But what you also can do is you can change the perception. You see, you think that you are lacking something, but it's usually not so. It's your perception that you are lacking something. It's most often it is. Like if your neighbor has a better car than you, and you're like, oh, but my car, this and this, but you have a car. It's just you need to change the perception. You start believing that your car is not good enough, but that's just a perception, So you can change. You can change from acting desperate to acting abundant. That's easy, You can really change that. You just need to change the perception of what you are, what you have in life. Like for example, you might believe that you're all alone, all by yourself, but then you must have some kind of friends and acquaintances. So here you change the perception. You're not all alone. You have friends. Maybe not as many as you want. Maybe you don't have yet your partner, but you still have a lot of everything else. So that one is easy to change. And one more thing I wanted to mention, and this is often mentioned, that women who are spoiled do not chase, they do attract. Yes, but I want you to remember that a woman who is spoiled is not just laying on the couch and wishing for something. She's not chasing something, but she's drawing that in with her energy. So she's not passive fully. She's just using her actions differently. She's not thinking about what kind of actions I can do so the man will start doing something for me, or what kind of actions I can do at work so I will get that promotion. She's thinking about how I can change my energy so that something will come to me. You see, she's not chasing, she's not doing actions. She's attracting with her energy, so she's adjusting her energy. Like for example, you're at work. Yes, you can go to your manager and ask, look, I do want to get promoted. What do I need to do? What kind of what do I need to show for myself to get promoted? I mean, this is a regular practice. Everywhere does it, I guess. But together with that, what you can do, you can really adjust yourself to believe that you are deserving of that position, that you are qualified enough to get that position. I mean, that idea would never come to your mind if you wouldn't be. So if that idea came, then you just need to convince yourself that you deserve of that. And look, me working in corporate for over a decade, I saw it many times. It's not always the most hardworking person who usually gets the promotion. It's the person who believes that they deserve either more money or a better situation. So they usually get promoted. And trust me, almost 80% of the time, these are not the hardest people, the hardest working people. These are the people who believe in themselves. So this is how a woman attracts. You see, if you will start. Again, it's not about, oh, it would be nice to get a position, but I'm not sure. Okay, I will just just sit here and wait. It doesn't work like this. Femininity is not passive like that. Femininity is active, but in their own way. They don't do actions, they adjust their inner strengths, you see. And you must remember this is important, because just sitting and waiting for something to fall from the from the sky on you would be very strange, would be absolutely abnormal, because you need to adjust yourself. All this kind of stories about poor Cinderellas that are just getting something out of nowhere, they are not, unless those poor Cinderellas usually adjust their energy. That doesn't happen like this. And trust me, I learned it, I checked it many times. So what you need to do, you need to adjust the energy, adjust yourself to be that. So these three, I wanted to mention these three aspects because from your comments I realized that a lot of people are missing that. Again, just because you're feminine doesn't mean that you're just sitting there and waiting for something. You need to know exactly what you want, and you need to adjust your energy to that. And I have a whole bunch of videos on that. So you need to make sure that you feel fully deserving of that. And then you would be absolutely surprised if somebody wouldn't give it to you, because 100% that it's yours, that you're absolutely sure that you will get it. Like this is just, there's no doubts, no any kind of fear or doubt about that. And maybe even if you didn't get it this first time, you will definitely get it the second time. Like there is no absolute doubt. Like for example, you're asking your man to buy you a scooter. I don't know why scooter, but let's be a scooter. And so the holidays came, and he didn't get you the scooter, but you're absolutely confident and sure that he will get it next time. You do not ask him, well, what about my scooter? Do you know I wanted the scooter? Are you going to get it for the next holiday? No, you can ask, but you are not asking out of desperation. You're asking because you want to remind him that you are getting that scooter. That it's a non-negotiable kind of. And the stronger you will remind him, the stronger he will like, yeah, definitely, I need to get with the scooter. So this is how it works. I want you to understand. I don't want you to become feminine and do nothing, become lazy, just sitting and hoping for something, and then getting upset that nothing is happening. Remember, just because you're feminine, vulnerable, and in receiving state doesn't mean that you're not strong. Feminine strength is inside. Masculine strength is outside. Masculinity has stronger bodies. Femininity has stronger inner kind of energy. And with that strong energy, you influence that stronger bodies, stronger masculine bodies. So this is how it is. Do not become passive just because you're feminine. I am never passive. You see, I am feminine, but I would not give anybody my power. My power is still with me, and I will get what I want, even though my actions are not, so there is no really actions, there is mostly just inner work for me. I do actions here and there, obviously, but these are not aggressive actions, you see. Like for example, if I want a particular man, I'm not going to be running around the city trying to get myself in front of him, or I wouldn't be stalking his social media, or I wouldn't be trying to remind him about me. I wouldn't be trying to talk to his friends to remind him, but I wouldn't be doing these actions. I would adjust my energy to the point, and our energy with him, because we're together. I would do my meditation on the partner to make sure that he will start thinking about me and will want to reconnect with me himself. Like this, you see, I'm not passive. I know that the power is in me, but I'm not going to do the extra masculine actions. I would do the actions inside, in the comfort of my own place. All right. So these three, I hope it makes sense. I do want you to understand this. Do not become a passive kind of person who just hopes and waits for the best. That's not how it works. Femininity is not about that. I want you to I want you to understand that. All right. So before I will answer the questions, I wanted to bring you a couple examples from and I was thinking about the movies, about the popular TV series that anybody could. So maybe if you have a couple, if you can write them down, I will analyze them. But from what I think what I'm going to tell you is 2 examples. So the first one, and I think everybody's seen it now, only the lazy didn't. It's about Emily in Paris, right? So there is 2 friends, Emily and Mindy. And you would think, based on their outfits, that they're both spoiled, but they're not. And you can see it very, very, very distinctively that Mindy is the one who is getting spoiled, and Emily is the one who is sabotaging her getting spoiled all the time. And it's surprising, right? Because Emily is the one who has a career, actually, who has a job, and who should be expecting the best of the treatments. Mindy, on the other hand, is basically, just searching herself, trying to get herself somewhere, but she's the one who is getting spoiled. Like, let's observe. Emily is the one, why is it happening? So Emily was, from what we know, she was born in a regular kind of family somewhere in Illinois. And so she grew up believing that she need to work for everything. And I assume she believes that she needs to be useful to be kind of rewarded, love, or some kind of recognition, validation. Now, Mindy, on the other hand, was born in a very wealthy family. And because she was born in a wealthy family, the wealthy family established particular standards for her. And they established those standards without any kind of conditions. So it wasn't like, okay, you need to do this to have like designer clothes, so you need to do this to live in this beautiful house. There was never conditions for her standards. Now, for Emily, there were conditions because her family was not wealthy. So, and right now they're both grown up. They're in their late 20s, as we can see. And you can see that Emily is actually, you can see how she sabotages her life. She's getting these rich boyfriends one after the other, and yet she's sabotaging the relationships with them, and always goes back to that not wealthy, not always so good Gabrielle, right? Why? Because being with the wealthy guy for her is uncomfortable. She doesn't believe she deserves to be spoiled. You see, she believes that she needs to do something to be useful to deserve love, and this is what she does for Gabrielle. She helps him. Obviously, I understand this is all the movie, but still, there's so many women like this in our life, and if you will look around, you probably know these women, and probably you are one like that too. So she helps Gabrielle. She kind of participates in his drama. She's feeling guilty all the time, first for kind of getting into between him and Camille, and so she's always, it's like she likes to suffer. Like she believes that she will get something good through suffering. Like if she suffers enough, if she does enough, then maybe she deserves a little bit of love, a little bit of appreciation. Now, on the other hand, Mindy, who is doesn't believe absolutely in she actually sabotaged the guy that didn't have money, and she went into her comfort zone with guys that are wealthy. What is that guy? The wealthy one. So you see, because she's comfortable, she doesn't feel any kind of guilt living off Emily. She doesn't pay rent. She doesn't feel guilty about this because she doesn't believe she needs to do something to earn something. You see, why? Because this was established for her in childhood. She doesn't even know. Neither of them knows about that. Emily probably doesn't understand why she is sabotaging the rich man and who were treating her really nice for a guy who doesn't treat her nice just because she believes that she needs to struggle to get to something. And Mindy, who believes that she deserves everything just because she is. You see, it's and you will say, well, Mindy is the one who's using her. No, they're both using each other. Why? Because Emily needs somebody that she could be useful to, and Mindy needs somebody who will be giving her just because she is. You see, and when you start feeling guilty about something, about receiving from somebody something, remember this example. Remember that person who you're receiving something from needs you to give you something. You think if it wouldn't be Mindy, Emily wouldn't find somebody who she can patronize and help and kind of and give something just so she feels useful and she feels like, like good about herself, she would find somebody else. And throughout this whole their journey, what is it, 5 seasons, she's always giving somebody, always helping somebody, always trying to be useful. So Mindy actually saved her a little bit. She became that somebody who allows Emily to be that useful self, you see. At least Mindy doesn't use her as much. So when you are with the man, remember that if it wouldn't be you who will be using him, not using like in drugs, but if you wouldn't be the one who he will be giving something to, there will be somebody else who will get into that position. Somebody, maybe another woman, maybe family members, maybe somebody else. So he will find, if he has this need to be useful, to give, he will find who he's going to be given this to. So might as well be you. I'm just saying. It's a need, absolute need that people have. And because Emily is acting so masculine, you can see that she's so, she loves her work. She loves achieve. You can see she's masculine. I mean, it's obvious. Mindy is masculine too, but at least she was brought up to be spoiled, you see, and they connect so good because that's how one wants to give and one wants to receive. It's normal. Even notice how when Mindy kind of fought with Emily and she went to live with one of her colleagues. What is that guy name? So one of Emily's colleagues, she also felt like it's absolutely normal to go just and crash in his place. Like me, for example, I know that I'm not on that level, because if I would need to go and stay somewhere, that wouldn't be one of my friends. I know for sure, because I don't have that sense of entitlement yet in me. I would probably get an Airbnb or hotel, or I would rent an apartment short term or something. So, but it would not be. You see, I don't have that kind of entitlement. So you can see. Now, answer to yourself honestly: are you Emily or are you Mindy? And from there, you can start moving. If you are Mindy, then you are probably good. You're where you should be. You're where a woman should be. And if you are Emily, then you maybe need to start becoming a little bit like Mindy, because you would just be sabotaging yourself. Even if you become, even if you will have a lot of money yourself, you will earn a lot of money, there will be some kind of circumstances that will push you to give that money. Maybe some people who will be needing more than you, and you will be sacrificing or something like that. So, all right. The second example that I was thinking about, something that everybody watched, obviously, is Sex in the City. And if you notice, in all those four ladies, I mean, this is like, it's old. I understand the series is old, and it was filmed in the 90s. And in the 90s, it was kind of fashionable to be independent, to be like this strong and independent. You can see that from all four ladies, the only one that is entitled to be spoiled is Charlotte. And I assume because she's from the somewhat well-off family, and she's like, I think from Connecticut, right, or where she's from. Correct me if I don't really remember that much. But you can see how the other three are actually sabotaging any kind of gift given, especially. So I will tell you about, especially Carrie, because of that, because they're so not used to be spoiled. They feel so guilty for that. Like with Carrie, she was sabotaging anything that the man would give her. She would always go back to that big, right, because he was not treating her well. She felt like she needed to earn and suffer for his love. She didn't believe that she deserved to be spoiled, you see. Now, she had men who were actually good to him, Aiden, I think, and she would sabotage him again and again and again just because he was too good. He was giving her something and she didn't believe she deserved. Now, Samantha, on the other hand, she also was somewhat entitled to be spoiled, a little bit differently, but she was entitled. Entitled because she's energy of air. Miranda, on the other hand, the same as Carrie, did never believe that she was deserving to be spoiled, and you can see it through her career. She didn't get the promotion that she was working hard, that she was not made the partner, that it was obvious that she doesn't believe. Then she chose this guy who was hardly had a couple pennies, she was okay with him feeding her pizza and all that, just because she did not believe that she was spoiled. She deserved to be spoiled, you see? So you can see, again, answer to yourself honestly, who are you? Are you Carrie or are you Charlotte? Are you Samantha or are you Miranda? You like, and go from there. If you're one of those, if you're Carrie or Miranda, you're obviously not in. You're not where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be higher than that. This is not the right place to be. Yes, it's maybe admiring for somebody, but it's not the right place to be. You will always sabotage. Carrie could have been very happy with Aiden, and he would be providing and supporting her and giving her all the love and attention that she deserves. But no, she wanted to be in the relationship that were not giving her nothing rewarding, so to say. The same with notice how when Aiden offered Carrie to kind of to have one apartment and to connect the apartments and to live in a big one, she got upset, she got concerned. She wanted to buy an apartment herself. On the other hand, when Charlotte was divorced and she demanded the apartment for herself, she felt entitled to that place. So you need to be somewhat like Charlotte. You can be somewhat like Samantha, like this airy kind of gold digging kind of person. I wouldn't say that she was a gold digger, but at least she had the real good potential. Or you need to be like Charlotte, who believes that she deserves just because she is. All right, so I hope those examples made it clear. You see, your upbringing, our upbringing, mine too, defines where you will be in the beginning of your life, right? So like Mindy, because she has a rich parents, rich childhood, rich kind of, and she always can go back and live that rich life with particular conditions. She feels secure, she feels entitled, she feels secure. So if you were not given that, you need to change it yourself, and change it through watching the first video. Work on your energy, start kind of adjusting yourself little by little. It's not that hard. It is a work in progress, but it's not that hard. Now, if you wanted to be, if you're okay to be like Emily or to be, like Miranda, at one point, while you're young, it's fun and everything, but at one point you will get tired. You will get tired to be dating men who are losers, who are not giving you nothing. You will get tired of fighting for love. You will get tired of providing for the family. Like, you will get tired. I'm telling you this. I was okay with working and kind of and being the breadwinner like in the family, but it doesn't last. You get tired of that. All right, so now to the questions. I hope it makes sense, and I hope you will analyze yourself. I hope you will analyze your life as well. All right, so to the questions. The first question that I will answer. So there are more questions, but I will answer the questions that are relevant to everybody. I answered everybody, but these are questions that are relevant to everybody. So the first question, and I think everybody thinks like this. So I'm not going to read the whole question. The whole point is, if you are spoiled, doesn't it make you selfish? Okay, I don't like this word selfish. Why? Because selfish people are using others to progress in life. I would say that you are self-centered. Now, you are not selfish. You just start attracting different kind of life and different kind of people. Like I just told you in the example of Mindy, is she selfish that she's sponging off Emily? You would say that she is, but no, because she's given Emily what Emily needs. She needs somebody who she can save all the time, who she can kind of provide for, you see? So when you are becoming focused on yourself, and when you expect and have a standards of being spoiled, you start attracting different kind of people, different kind of situations, and overall your life is just changing a little bit. You're changing the polarity of your life. So now from giver, you becoming a receiver, and receivers are needed as much as the givers. In our world, half of the people should be receivers, half should be givers. So you only choose where you're going to be on which side. And that's all. Since you're a woman, might as well be on the side of receivers as you're supposed to be. And you are not selfish. You are attracting a different kind of life. Now, are you going to be comfortable with that life? That's a different question. Because if you are used to do everything by yourself, earn everything, fight for everything, now suddenly you are here receiving everything, might get uncomfortable for you. You might feel like, what if it will disappear? What if it will stop? What if I will owe something for this? This is, that's the problem. So how could it change you? How can your life change? You will start dating men who are actually wealthy, who well off, who have money to spend, who spend on themselves, they will start spending on you. It's again, these are, you still dating. You were dating one who didn't have no money. Now you're dating the one who has money. I mean, you still giving love to this guy or to this guy, so might as well be getting something for it, no? Like, and for him, it's not hard. It's not like he's giving you the last coins. I mean, he's giving to you because he has. So this is how it is. Now, or you might be getting some kind of, like, I knew this girl. I mean, she was just amazing. I was working with her. And so when the company, so she was not working in my company, she was working in another company. That company started having like real changes in structure. And they started kind of shifting a lot of people, moving around, but she was just comfortable. She didn't care. She was like really chilling because her husband was making good money. She was already provided for. She was working just because she wanted to keep herself busy. And you know what? While the company was structured, and she really didn't care, but she's like, well, if they will, lay me off, I mean, I will be fine. And you know what? In 2 years, she got promoted 3 times because of this structure and her kind of being in trust. You see, she attracted she attracted situations that kind of uplifted her in her current position. She was not selfish because she kind of took the positions of people that were maybe more deserving of the positions, but yet did not survive the shifts, right? She was not. She just was in the right place in the right time, and she got promoted, because she was like this. And this is how life works. You see, if you will start you dating a man who is not well off, not like this, you dating a man who could not provide, who could not give you nothing, is not doing favors to him or to you. You're actually doing a huge disfavor to him. You're showing him that he doesn't need to do much in life to get something. And this is wrong for a man. A man wants to achieve. He wants to fight for something that is his. He wants to be, he wants to be recognized for efforts. Right now, you're giving him recognition and validation for nothing. He doesn't do nothing. He doesn't provide for you. He doesn't give you presents. And you still, but I love you. You're the best man. You are doing huge disservice to him and to yourself. Understand that. Understand it. There is no progress for him. He is done. He's sitting here. He's like, okay, well, I have everything. That from there on, he will start picking on you because he doesn't feel like he needs to develop. He already have everything. So you are not, by dating somebody who's not giving nothing, who's not providing to his family, to a woman he loves, you are only supporting his weaknesses and not promoting his strengths. You see, if you would tell him, listen, I'm taking a break. I think you need to get on your feet because I'm not paying rent any longer. That's it. So let's take a break. And if you're serious about that and he's serious about you, he will get on, he will get a job and he will start. Yeah, he will be complaining. He will be doing this and that, but he will start doing something. Now, maybe he will never get back to you. Maybe because his energy will lift up, so he will find somebody else. But at least he will always respect you for pushing him out of his comfort zone. I'm telling you this. Now, if you will agree for bare minimum, for little crumbs, I mean, he's not developing. You're obviously not developing, falling from from where you were. I mean, this is what's selfish. You see, because of you being so scared of not getting a better man, you're basically destroying your life and his life. This is what's selfish. You see, it's like also if you're working for a company, right, and you don't want to change the company, yet you hate this kind of your position. You hate that you get paid so little, but you're afraid. You're afraid to change companies. You're afraid to make a change. Again, you're doing disservice to the company and to yourself. You could be in a better role. You could be getting more money, and your position could be filled with the person who actually wants your role, who enjoys your role. You see. So again, I would argue what is selfish. Selfish is betraying yourself and hurting others while you're doing this. This is what's selfish. But being a receiver is not selfish. You just being on the other side of the pool. Again, everybody has to be either receiver or giver. And then receivers, 25% are givers, and the givers are 25% receivers. You see masculinity and femininity. So choose where you want to be. Since you're a woman, then you should be on that on the side of the receivers. This is just natural. All right, I hope I made this clear. I don't want to hear this no more. I don't want you to think that you're selfish because you ask man to get you a present. This is not selfish. This is him developing, Like I remember when I was a teenager, I remember boys in our school fighting for dominance, right? Kind of, I don't know how it works in their world, but they would fight, sometimes physically, to prove that they are deserving of not deserving. And you know what? Yeah, it was hurtful. Some of them had bruises. My brother once came, his whole face was beat up, but that's made them stronger. They established their position. So when you're asking a man for something, you see, masculine testosterone proves it. You're actually helping them to develop. And it's normal. It's just normal. Masculinity develops just like femininity throughout their life. Do not make your man lazy and weak. Do not support the weakness in man. Do not support any kind of weakness in yourself as well. All right, so I think we're done with this question. This is understood. I hope I chewed enough for you to understand. You are never selfish. When you want something, you are never selfish. If you want something, if you believe that you don't deserve to receive this much money from your clients, again, this is not right. You need to show your clients that you are deserving, so they're deserving as well. It's like it's normal. Like, I don't know. I always wanted to work with women who were asking more, because, and I always had mentors who were really pricey, I would say. Why? Because I felt like, a woman who has such high value, I want to be this woman. Why would I be with somebody who's like, oh, I just work on donation as much as you want. She's not sure about herself. Why would I work with her? It doesn't make no sense. I want somebody who is confident. And yes, maybe she charges a lot, but let me work with her once a month. At least I will feel that great with her, once a month, and I wouldn't feel great at all. So anyways, but it's throughout your whole life. So to the next question, because the next question is also very important because I hear it often. Often people ask something like this. So the question is, blah blah blah. This I'm not going to read, but the point is of the question: can I change my current relationship? Can I change my current partner? And this is what I will tell you, and it might sound bad, but it is very hard to change the partner that you are in right now. Let me give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I was in this place. I was having breakfast, and this guy, he's from New York as well. I lived in New York, so he basically he recognized me and he called me. So he actually lives here now. And when I met him, so I recognized him as well, even though it doesn't happen to me often. But I had the same feeling as I had when I was in New York. Not only about him, but about New York. It's like everything just this whole memory came up, to be then but I'm a different person. He's a different person too. So after we spoke for a little bit, I kind of got back to where I am. I'm here in Miami. I am what I am right now, and he is what he is right now. But in the first 15 minutes, the patterns that were there came back to me. See, he brought back those patterns. So why I'm telling you this, it's when you are with the man for a long time, you already have a particular pattern with him. The pattern is of how you behave and how he's behaving, and how you guys, the dynamics in your relationship, how you both behave in the relationship. Now, if suddenly, it's like a particular movement, very harmonious. Your energy moves in a particular way with that man. And suddenly you decide to stop the energy and start moving opposite. It will take time for it become harmonious again. And most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, it doesn't change. So how could it look? For example, your man never gave you nothing. Like in the last 10 years, he didn't give you nothing. And you suddenly, you listen to me and you started telling him, I would love to get flowers. I would like some. So a man would be like, okay, fine. So he goes and he buy you a flower, one rose, and he brings to you, and you're like, you can't believe your happiness that the man finally bought you something. So now you're treating him extra special because he brought you the rose. You are paying for that kind of, you're paying for his for his one good deed. Now you will wait for maybe half a year or so to ask for something else, because you just don't believe that it's possible from this man. You just don't. It's very hard. You need to be the energy of air, or very determined to change. It's very hard to change the patterns that are already established. And on the other hand, the man might also start kind of telling you, hey, what's the problem? We live like this, and now what you don't like. Usually you can change the current relationship if you are ready to live. What is that movie? Oh, I wish I remember that. Okay, doesn't matter. If I will remember the movie, I will put it in the comments. But for the most part, if you are ready to leave, if you're so like, okay, I'm done, that's it, then the chances are that something might change, because by you leaving, you're already stopping the energy that flows in your relationship. You already stopped, and right now, when you stop the energy, it has to flow in particular way. So once you leave in, maybe a man will decide, oh, I don't want to lose her, so let me do something, let me put some kind of effort. If you will allow him to do effort and continue with this effort, and you expecting the effort, then the relationship will start flowing in a different direction. But if you will be like, he will send you flowers, and you will be like, okay, I'm back then, and you will be satisfied with flowers once in a while, you probably will not get spoiled. You will just fall in back into the pattern that you guys had, but in a little, different, maybe slightly different way. So it's hard. I don't know, to tell you the truth, you have to be very determined to change a man that you're living with. Very. I would rather you take a break. Even if you don't want to leave the man, at least take a break. Take a break, reconsider what you want. I mean, what is it that you're missing? What is it that you are, what do you want from this guy? Why you with him? He's not giving you nothing. Why are you with him? What kind of holes is he filling up? I mean, is it something, are you feeling like are you feeling like you're not loved if you're not next to him? Like, what is it that you're missing? Give it to yourself. Then it would be much easier to get something from a man. Again, a man shows you what your masculinity is. And if your masculinity is weak and has been weak for the last 10 years, it would be very hard now to suddenly have a strong masculinity. Strong masculinity would be if you were a housewife for 10 years, never got a penny, and then you suddenly decide, okay, enough is enough, so you decided, you got yourself a job, you start making money, you start buying yourself something, you start putting savings, your masculinity is acting now. Your masculinity is taking responsibility for you. Your man will start acting up a little bit, different, start acting differently, start giving you something, because he will feel that strength. But if you are not ready to change your masculinity, you're not ready to take this kind of decisive actions, chances are very high that your man will never change. I haven't seen that. Now, I've seen a couple times when the woman was so fed up that she was like, okay, I'm going to change. I actually had a client who changed her husband for him, not for her, really. I don't know, maybe I think it's for both of them. But she was very firm, and she worked with me, she was very firm, and she was very determined. And her husband actually became more successful. He was already pretty okay, they had real estate and everything, but he became more successful, and she started asking for things, not only for herself, but for their family. She wanted a summer house, she wanted this, she wanted that, she suddenly wanted to have vacations, and basically it started pushing. She started unconsciously and unknowingly, she started pushing her man to become a better version of himself, and he never left her. I mean, I'm sure he's great. I mean, I never spoke to him, so I don't know, but I'm sure he loves that she did it for themselves and shaked up their relationship a little bit. So like that. Again, would I change the relationship? It depends. If my relationship is great, I would. But again, if my relationship is there just because I don't want to be lonely, it's just blah, probably not. I wouldn't. It would take too much effort to stop the energy. The energy moving, and it's hard to change the energy. There would be clashes, there would be fights, because no energy wants, energy moves in a particular way, doesn't want to be stopped. If you stop energy, there will be some kind of argument, some kind of clashes. Why would I want to do this with the guy who I'm like, live like a, let's say, like a roommate, like there's no nothing? Why would I? So, okay. That's it. I hope it makes sense. Again, I don't want to discourage you. I had a mentor who actually took a break from her husband. Well, he wasn't her husband and that, but they have a kid. She took a break for 5 years, worked on herself and everything, and only then, when they reconnected, they basically, she was already acting differently, he was acting differently, but it took 5 years for her to change the pattern and to stop the energy and to move the energy in a different direction. 5 years, you see. So again, but she believes that it's the love of her life. So okay, I understand that. There's obviously was the tension, the sexual attraction. So I understand that. But if it's somebody who is just blah, I mean, what's the point? Just get another man and act according with him. All right. But again, I'm also not for changing guys, jumping from one to another because the guys will change. No, you need to work on your masculinity first. It's just how it is. All right. So from here, the question is, what if a man was not to spoil? Okay. Yeah, that could be. But the man should have been taught to provide. A man should also have this kind of desire to give something. So maybe, yeah, maybe he's not taught to buy presents, but he would invest somehow time, attention. He would provide, obviously. But I don't really know a masculine man who would not want to provide. Maybe he wouldn't want to buy you diamonds because he would think it's a waste, even though diamonds are not actual. But okay, maybe not some kind of bags that would lose value in a couple of months. I understand that. But usually men, they do want to give something to somebody who they love. I didn't see men who wouldn't. Yeah, they have different capacity, maybe different abilities, but they still do. So if a man was not so the question was, what if a man was not taught to spoil? I mean, should I stay with him? And so again, I would not really care about the man that much. I would think, what is inside of me that I'm attracting a man who is like that? Like, what is my masculinity that bad? Like that I'm attracting a man who's telling me that he's not spoiling me, that he's not buying me nothing, that he's not providing. I mean, how bad do I need to be right now to myself that I'm attracting a man like this? Honestly, it would be very strange. So no, I wouldn't be dating a man like this. I wouldn't justify his actions either. No man ever was taught not to give. I don't believe in that. I don't. I mean, in high school and college, they all want to take the girls out to the movies, to somewhere, at least somewhere. So, I don't believe that there are men who are like, okay, I'm never giving nothing. Like, are there such men? I never met men like this. Again, yeah, maybe they would give little, but they still would want to give. Masculinity thrives in that. I mean, I just don't understand that. So, okay, but I have an example here. A few months ago, so I'm on dating side, but I'm not really on it as it's like active. But it's okay. One time I went in, I was, I guess, bored a little bit, so I had some matches, and there was this question that prompts the conversation, and the question was date night in or date night out. Thank you. And so I wrote date night out, obviously, and the guy never answered me back. And I didn't took it personal. I mean, he might not even seen it because in Bumble, right? It's I think you give it 24 hours to answer something, and then it just disappears, so something like that. But my point was at that time, and I remember it very well. It's been 3 months, you see, and I remember it very well. I was thinking, why am I getting a man who is asking me date night in or date night out? So the man does not want to put much effort in if he even have this question. I remember that because I was analyzing. Yeah, maybe there are a lot of other planets that kind of push me to analyzing that. But this is the question. You see, I did not judge him. I did not say, oh my God, this man don't put no effort. I started thinking about what's inside of me that he feels like this, that he can think that he's not supposed to provide it, he's not supposed to plan it, that he thinks that there is an option for him not to take me out. You see, again, do not blame men. Don't blame yourself either, but look inside yourself. What is there? I mean, why a man? Why you attracted a man who even assumes to have this kind of idea? Are you allowing this to be a possibility? Could you be so desperate that you will agree, on little just to be close by? Like, think about that. All right. And okay, let's speed up. So one more question. I mentioned last time that you need to surround yourself with women who are spoiled. So when you are spoiled, you will feel like it's normal. But if all your friends are not spoiled, then you will feel guilty for being spoiled and you will sabotage yourself. So the question was basically, all my friends are not spoiled. Would you suggest to stop talking to them? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't stop talking to my friends. All my friends are actually developing with me. So they change as I change. I mean, what I would probably do, maybe I would distance a little bit. I would limit the conversations, especially if the conversations are not to your advantage. So, for example, if your conversations are all men are bad, they don't do nothing, I would very much limit them, because you don't need that. It's already inside of you. You need to change this, not reconfirm it. So what I would do, I would distance myself. I would distance from those kind of conversations. I would find out what to talk about and I would look inside. If these are my friends, they reflect me. Why do I have this kind of stuff inside of me? What is it? Am I hurt by a man, and that's kind of creates my perception about men? What situation provided this kind of thinking in me, and about men that are in my life? Like, I would really think about that. I would be grateful to my friends for showing me that, and then from there I would do some kind of actions. I would start I would start changing inside of me now. But I would distance myself for a little bit, maybe. This is so good. I will answer this. Give me a question. So what I want to say is that I would distance myself for a couple months. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how often you talk with your friends, but like, I don't talk to my friends like every single day, and I would really think about that if you do. I would distance myself for a couple months. You could be busy. That's just normal. And during those 2 months, I would look inside myself. I would look, what is it that make me think like this, and how I can change. Like, I will tell you from my experience. When I was disappointed with men a couple of times, especially after my divorces, I obviously was somewhat disappointed with men. Um, I um, I had this kind of feeling, and I was attracting not the right circumstances because of my inner disappointment. Now, and I knew that it was inside of me, so I had to change it. And this is where the closing of the relationship comes. If you have this issue, there is a video on how to close the relationship. Do that. You're not supposed to feel any kind of way to any man, especially from the past. So but again, our friends show us what we have inside. So if my friends would be not spoiled, not receiving nothing, they have relationship and they don't get nothing from their man, I would really look inside myself. Like, really, what is this? Why am I having friends like this? The problem is not in friends. The friends is showing me, because my friends right now, almost all of them are really spoiled, if not by man, but by their work, by their employees, by something. You see, so it's inside of me. This is what I would look in. I would not stop talking to anybody. I mean, obviously that does make no sense, but I would distance myself a little bit and start working on myself first, my energy. Probably would work with a mentor, somebody who can really put my mind right, who can really establish. And I think this is what helped me a lot. I started working with the mentors, a long time ago, and because I needed the new example, I needed somebody who was outside of my usual circle. And so there was me and my friends, and we all were the same. I needed somebody who was different, and and somebody different who could put me on the right path. And it's okay that I was paying for that. At least I was put on the different path, and I drag all my friends with me as well. So, sometimes you just need to step outside your zone and work on yourself for a little bit, and then reconnect with your friends. As I have friends since kindergarten. So, I'm not like just changing them here and there. All right, and one more question. So the whoever wrote to me he didn't mention any gratitude. Shouldn't a woman encourage a man with the gratitude? I didn't speak about the gratitude room, but I assume that everybody is kind of conscious and you do use gratitude. But I wanted to mention one thing. You should be grateful for a man to provide you. I mean, obviously, masculinity need validation, need gratification, need all these feelings. But you need to be mindful about how grateful you are. So if you are overly grateful, it's like you never received nothing good in your life. People who are always spoiled, they receive um, things in their life as a normal thing, as I told you about the breakfast. I ate breakfast today. Was I like, oh my God, thank you for my breakfast, thank you, I can't believe my breakfast was so good. Like, I was not like this. I ate the breakfast, I love the breakfast, I was happy, but I was not overly, because it's a normal thing for me. It's not once once in a while, and because I'm so entitled to that breakfast, chances are high there will always be oatmeal and the berries and whatever else I put in there just for me to provide that breakfast, you see, because I feel entitled to that breakfast and to whatever that breakfast consists of. Now if I would be like, thank you very much, I don't know whether we'll get that breakfast again, that would be a little desperate. So if a man gives you something and you couldn't stop saying thank you for days and weeks, this is a little extreme. It shows that, like, I never received nothing, so now I received. Like, you're lowering yourself. You're trying. I know what you're trying to kind of to show him that you're how grateful you're trying to encourage him, but this is not encouragement. This is really just showing him, look, maybe next time I shouldn't be giving her that much because she's going crazy about it. So this is what it is. I mean, you shouldn't. My rule of thumb is, you say, you mentioned the presence three times in the lifetime. So a man gives you something, you're like, oh my God, thank you very much. I really love it. If you do, if you don't, you tell him you don't. Then if it's flowers, maybe in a couple of days you send him a picture of flowers. So my flowers is still making me smile, something like that. And then maybe when the flowers are dead and you send him, you're like, I'm feeling so sad that the flowers are dying, like this. If it's some kind of clothes, he bought you or something, then you send him a picture, thank you very much, and then you send him a picture one time, I love my sweater, it's so beautiful, always make me think of you, or something like that. And then maybe in a few more months again you just reconfirm. So this is my rule. I always use it and it seems to work. Again, don't be over eager to, because if it's normal for you, if it's your standard, you shouldn't be acting like that. It's normal. It's normal. When a man gets something from you, let's say he's intimate, I mean, is he like, oh, thank you, I can't believe that you gave me a chance? I mean, you would feel like, my God, nobody ever slept with this guy, that he's so overly grateful. You would feel like strange. You will like confidence, you like confident people, so you wouldn't probably want a man who is desperate like that, and he's with his word. So be careful with that. Yes, you need to be grateful. You need to, and that's obviously, it shows the man that he's doing right, that he's on the right path to make you happy. But be careful with how grateful you are. Do not become too much. If a guy opened the door for you and you're like, oh, you're the only one who ever opened the door for me, I mean, what does it say about you that you're dating losers who never opened the door? So be careful with that. I mean, be mindful. Or if the guy took you to a nice restaurant and you are, oh my God, I've never been to a place like this. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but then what does it show the guy? I mean, it shows that a man wants to date a fairy, a princess, somebody who's great. Everybody wants something that's great. Nobody wants to date something or be with somebody who doesn't believe at least in their greatness, in their own greatness. We act on confidence. We want to date somebody who is strong like that, strong inside. I don't know. So be mindful of that. This is important. Important because I saw girls who read a whole bunch of and watched a whole bunch of videos about you need to be grateful, you need to be this and that, and so they're over with their gratefulness that either a man becomes so cocky that he doesn't give her nothing at all ever again, or he feels weird, and he distance. I never once saw a man with the woman who is like every single day, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, to him. Obviously she's saying, I can't believe my happiness. You can say something like this, but as long as you feel strong about yourself. And I never saw a man who would start giving even more. Usually men give more to women who are strong, who know that, yes, I deserve this. Yeah, this is the least you can do. I mean, I'm grateful, but this is normal for me. And so he wants to give more because he knows if he wants to keep her in his life, he needs to contribute and contribute more and more. So, and this is normal. I mean, obviously, and if you like the guy, you're not going to be like overexhausting for him. You will be okay. You will enjoy his company as much as his presence. And let me answer this. This is actually good. My man is becoming more generous, but once when he said, "You're asking for more and I can't keep up." This is so cute. You remember how I told you that if you will challenge a man, he will complain, he will do this and that, he will speak, he will, but he will still act. So this is a good example. You can tell him something like, as long as you are not unreasonable, right? You can say to him something, no, that's not true, I know you can, or something to encourage him, to validate him, to show him that you believe in his strengths. And I'm sure he loves that. He loves that he's providing for you. I'm sure he loves that he's giving you more than he could have, probably, that he was able to give you before. So it always, I don't know, man, they love that. I don't know. I have a brother. I have cousins, and this man, they are not billionaires. I mean, they're doing good for themselves, but they are not like, they're not Jeff Bezos or something. So they're doing good, and I never heard them complain about, oh, this girl, she's asking for too much. They always feel great, even if they do stupid things. Like they given some woman that's not really nobody for. Like my brother, he's very generous with women like that. But he never felt like, oh, she used me. Never. I never heard him say like this. Usually he said, well, okay, that's fine. I'll make more like this. So man, they love to be this kind of heroes. They like to give something that others maybe could not. They always compete with other men, compete with potential men, compete with some kind of imaginary competition. They always do. So they feel great. They feel great that they're in this world. So I hope I answer your question. Do not discourage your man and tell him that you do believe in him. I mean, as long as you are not unreasonable, as long as it's within his means. But usually, when a man speaks like this, he's just he's just happy that you're giving him this opportunity. All right, ask questions if you have. If not, I will sum it up quickly, and we will go enjoy a Sunday. So. Just to sum it up, I want to tell you, please do watch the video, the first one that was, and I remember you have the birthday coming up, so there you go. So just to recap, remember, there is two teams in this world, givers and receivers. Masculinity usually a giver, femininity a receiver. There need to be 50-50 of both. It's just the law of polarity. There could not be 70 of one and 30 of another. Something will happen that they will somehow naturally will become 50-50. I'm happy that women right now are suddenly waking up and becoming more feminine, becoming receivers. So I love that. I love that men want to be more masculine. So this is a good kind of start. So if you are choosing where to be, you need to be a receiver. I actually have a video, and I think I will put stop being a giver, start being a receiver, how to kind of transition yourself. I will put in the description of this one. And so you choose. Now, remember, when you are feminine, it doesn't mean that you're just sitting over there and hoping for something to fall on you. You need to know exactly what you want, and you need to be sure that you're getting that somehow, through a man, through your work, through your clients, through your admirers, through maybe your family, but you will get how what you want, you will get it. You're not giving the power to something else. The power is in you. You join it with your power. So and then you match the energy to be that woman who is actually deserving and receiving that something that you so much want. Remember this: a feminine energy is not passive energy. It's active. It's just differently active. Masculine energy actions are outside. Feminine actions are inside. You become so strong. You hold the third chakra so strong that it just basically like a magnet draws everything in. It's a very strong, powerful feeling. Really, it's even maybe more efforts than man put in with their actions, because often the actions are just chaotic. Here and there, everything. Like, for example, if you're looking for a job, yes, you can like, I was reading this chat on one of Facebook groups, and this girl wrote, and she's like, I put like 150 applications in the last month, not one interview. And the other one was like, I don't know, I'm just always so lucky. Somebody offered me a job, I went to the interview and I got it. Here, the difference, you can do a whole bunch of actions, but if inside you're not ready to receive, chances are very little that you will receive anything. So again, you're not passive. Don't believe in that. Have particular self-value. Decide on which side you are right now, and then you need to move. So you need to reconfirm for yourself where you stand, because if you will never admit that you are Emily and not Mindy, it will be very hard to change. If you will be like, oh well, I'm like Mindy, just men don't come into my life like this, like wealthy. Yeah. Tell yourself that. So if you will admit to yourself, yeah, I'm Emily right now, I think I need to work on myself. Let me start with that a little bit. So if you need to admit to yourself and then do the changes from that base that you put for yourself. And remember that you could not be desperate. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about everything else: attention, money, love, time. You could not be desperate for any of those. If you are desperate for any of those, you're desperate. That's it. You're just trying to replenish one with another, so to say. If you don't have time, then you are trying to replenish it with. If you're not entitled to time, then you're trying to replenish it with some quick love or something like that. So you need to be entitled to everything. Then on the questions, make sure that you don't have this kind of feeling that you're selfish because you want to use others, even though it's not using. Remember, it's not like this. Your inner guilt will create outside punishment. So nobody's ever using themselves. Men are very self-centered. If they believe you're using them, he will tell you. He will. and he will probably brush you off if that's really true. I mean, for majority of the time, a man, I never saw a man being afraid to say something to hurt somebody else's feelings. Never in my life. On the other hand, I saw a lot of women who will push their feelings to the side just so not to hurt somebody else. And remember one more thing: you are hurting your man and yourself if you are okay with little crumbs. I'm telling you, no man would ever be happy not progressing. If you allow his weakness to be present and validate him for doing nothing but to be weak, you're only doing disservice to him. You're thinking that you're so selfless. You're loving him just because he is. No, you're not. You're destroying him little by little, and your own femininity and your own dreams for a bright future. So again, change your perception. Think about that. Allow your mind to drift like that. So observe the people around you right now. They're telling you what you are inside. Your friends are showing different sides of you. The man shows your masculinity. Your parents are showing you what your inner parent will thinks about you and your thoughts right now. Again, the people outside only helping us with that. What else? Do not feel sorry for men ever. This is only encourages their weaknesses. Please don't do this. It's crazy. A man will feel it and he will hate you for that. He will. I hate people who feel sorry for me. That doesn't happen often, but sometimes when they say something silly like that, I don't know, like I almost despise them. Like, who are you to think like that? I don't know. I get very defensive, and I'm sure you do too. So I am very mindful about feeling sorry or not for other people. Like, I really watch myself. When somebody feels sorry for the other person, it's like you're putting yourself above. It's like you are doing better, so you're feeling sorry for those who below you. Who gives me or somebody else a right to feel like this? What am I, God? Like, I remember I have a cousin, and she has this husband of hers. And when I went to visit, I met him for the first time. So they already lived together for like 15 years. The guy is a oh yeah. So I don't want to say nothing, but he's like really should be grateful to her and her family for doing how he is doing right now. Like, I wouldn't give him a thought, not even to build a family with him. But it's okay. I guess they work together with my cousin. I admire my cousin very much, though. But and so he got a little bit tipsy, and he started saying something like, "Well, I feel sorry for people who have no family." And I swear, I was like, it was lucky for him that he was tipsy, because otherwise I would just I don't know. I would tell him everything that I was thinking about him, and it was a few years ago. I was still very kind of defensive, but since then I despise him. I don't know. This is just nothing. Like, who are you to look so highly? So you have a few kids. If it's not for the parents of my cousin, I mean, I don't even know whether they would be where they are right now. So like this, you see, you like when you are feeling sorry for somebody, you putting yourself above, and people they feel it. So if you're feeling sorry for your man, he can feel it, and he will despise you. So do not feel sorry. Better feel almost a little intimidated. Ask him for a present and feel like, is he going to give me or not? Let me see, like that. It would be, at least he will feel that you feel his strength. You're intimidated. That means that you believe that he's strong enough. That would be much better than if you're like, oh yeah, but he's hardly making any money. I shouldn't be asking for nothing. Oh my God, he will feel it, and he will. Oh, this is a terrible feeling. Don't do that. Don't. He will either start drinking to avoid that feeling, or he will start gambling to avoid that feeling again, because because a woman who he likes feeling sorry for him is a very bad feeling, and or he will start escaping. He will either find another woman who will admire him or something like that. He will start escaping this feeling, because men don't really know how to cope with those feelings. All right, that's it. I hope I made myself clear. The reason why I decided to do this video today is because of some information, and I wanted to make it. And plus, Venus is still in Capricorn, and Venus in Capricorn is very practical. Will not settle for little. And since we're women, we're influenced by Venus, so we all, yes, thank you. I think a lot of people love this topic because they have a lot of views. But Venus, so we're influenced by Venus, and Venus, so we all are a little bit like Venus and Capricorn. We all are practical. We all want particular things. Even I noticed myself that I do expect results. It's not only about flirting. It's not about talking. It's results. Even with my clients, I expect results from them. I expect even with the potential clients that I'm talking to, I expect them to commit to some to some kind of to either mentorship or something. So me right now, when I'm not close to Venus and Capricorn, my Venus is in Sagittarius, so even me, I feel like I'm very practical right now. So we all are a little practical. Since you are a little practical right now, will be for another week, I think. Think about that. Change yourself a little bit. Again, you will only do this. You will only help yourself and the man who is in your life right now, man who will come into your life. Maybe the men who are in your life right now will not really appreciate your effort to help them, but in the long run, they will appreciate. At least you will prepare a good man for the next girl that will come into his life, and she will be grateful to you. She will come and she will be like, "Oh, somebody was cooking here." Like this guy. I mean, I had a little romance while I was traveling. I mean, I was so grateful every single day for his exes. And it's funny because his ex that he really loved, I assume, was also from my culture. So I guess she trained him really well, because the guy was just he was doing everything. If he wouldn't live so far, I would consider marrying him and living there with him, because he was just everything, with the attentions, with the presence, intimacy. Was just, that girl, I was sending her good energy every single every single day. And I think when Mercury was retrograde, I think they reconnected. For some reason, I had this feeling, but I already left, so I already was in another country, so I really didn't care. But I was sending her good energy. Yeah, and I hope my good energy helped her, and who knows, maybe they reconnected and stayed together. I really wish both of them really good. So, but what I want to say, that even if you right now, even if you do not get from your man what you want and what you would love to have, at least for the next girl, you will prepare him, and I'm sure she will be sending you good energy, like I was sending that one. I don't even know who she is, but he just mentioned her once, and so I was sending her. So like this. Again, don't be afraid to lose anybody. A spoiled woman, never afraid to lose nothing, because she knows she's getting everything she wants. So you will be getting. Do not be afraid to lose. Do not be afraid to upset nobody. A man will never be upset. He will appreciate your honesty. So be honest. Tell him how it is. Tell him, I feel like I was neglected. I think I deserve a present. Like that. Just like that. If he could not give a present, he will say no. That's it. The worst. It's not like he's going to be analyzing, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm dating a gold digger. He'll never say that. It's probably a very feminine man who would even mention something like that. So be open. Do not overanalyze. Be faithful to yourself. See your value. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded. If your people right now are not like-minded, find those who are like-minded and try to be useful to them. Try to contribute to them somehow. Like me with mentors, I was paying for their services, but they were women that I wanted to become, and so they were in my company, and I was, and I slowly, little by little, became like them. So if you can find those women, try to, you can come work with me, or you can find somebody, try to hang out with them more, try to be in their circle, try to be useful to them. They will rub off a little bit on you. So you will start changing little by little. Do not blame men. Do not blame your friends. Do not blame your circumstances, your parents. You were born where you're supposed to be born. You grew up where you're supposed to be. You were supposed to grow up. Do not blame any kind of circumstances. Admit to yourself where you are now, and then move up from there. That's it. That's it. Tell yourself where you are, and start moving from there. Blaming, looking for somebody to blame. Oh my God, this is just waste of energy. Don't do that. It's not worth it. Again, Venus and Capricorn, we're practical. Do not waste your effort where you shouldn't be. When Venus will move to Pisces, then you can waste a little bit. But right now, straight to the point, be practical. All right, on this good note, we're going to finish. I will see you next Sunday at 11. Again, on TikTok, I put little short videos every day to remind you, because reminder is the best teacher. And that's it. Enjoy your Sunday. I will see you next Sunday at 11. Bye, TikTok. Thank you for supporting me. And bye, YouTube. Thank you for being here. I do expect all of your results. Please do inform me how it's going. I do wish you all to be spoiled, because I know you all deserve. Every woman deserves. I don't even want to discuss that. It's just some women sabotage themselves, and that's all. You just need to change that, and you will be as spoiled as everybody else. No woman is better than the other. Just some believe that they deserve more than the others. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday.